Kris Krohn here with Limitless TV, and today Grant Cardone and I go a little bit head to head as we talk about multifamily versus single family homes. Let's see how it winds up.
Why multifamily rather than just investing in your house?
Grant, really good question. I'm going to argue for single family home for a couple of main reasons. It's an easier entry point for the average American. If you get into multifamily, you need a lot more money and you're going to be taking on a lot more risk and you're going to be putting a lot more eggs in the basket and a lot more eggs in the basket. And that's not necessarily bad, but it is important that you are taking on a size of investment that makes sense for where you're at. And so if I had a chance between having all of my money wrapped in one project or having 10 little single family projects, I think especially for the beginner, even the novice or even the intermediate, having those 10 homes, there's some advantages you get there that you may lose out on once you step into the bigger risk of multifamily.
There's almost 100 million baby boomers. There's 80 million millennials. These are boomers. Now, what do these two groups have in common? They're on both ends of the age spectrum, called a demographic, right? We don't have a developed middle class today. You understand? We already did that. That was done 50 years ago. So when these people, these 100 million baby boomers, were in 30 and 35 years old, they started buying homes, okay? They were also having babies at 20. What else has happened is you got 80 million millennials saying, I don't need a house, dude. I need mobility. I don't care if I got a house.
Grant, you're right. Multifamily is a really great solution for the baby boomers and the millennials, but there's a bigger gap than just that. Yes, 100 million here. Yes, 80 million there. But look at all the families that are out there that are saying, I want the American dream. I want my own house. I do think there's room for both strategies here, but for me, I believe that there's a much better market space for the entry-level family, people that have 1, 2, 3 kids and they're saying, hey, we want a place of our own. We want our own lawn. We want our own backyard. We want a place that we can do up. And you lose some of those freedoms when you go into multifamily. A lot of people, sure, there's some freedom that comes with the apartment feeling and the condominium and the HOA, and maybe you pick up, some of the benefits or pool access or a hot tub jacuzzi or something like that. But single-family home is still very core to what it is to be American. And I think there's a greater population, a larger number of people that are seeking that right now.
Buy a house for 200 grand or buy an apartment for 200 grand. Okay? I'll tell you, it's simple. Pick the one that makes you money. Not in the future. Pick the one that makes you money this month. I can get this one to cash flow and I get a check every month. If you don't like money, give the money to your church. But the house, you never ever get a check from. The checks go to the house, not to you. You get it? Simple.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I've never done apartments. I've only ever done single families. And I'm sorry, the checks come straight to me. It's just straightforward real estate investing. So I may have missed something in what you're really trying to communicate there. But an apartment, is it going to appreciate as well as a house? No. Is a house going to bring me more dollar per dollar rent than an apartment? Yes. Am I going to get someone that's interested in home ownership where I can do a lease option where they'll actually take better care of the house than an apartment? Absolutely. Just add up those 3 things alone, Grant, and I'm sorry, there's going to be more money coming into you on a single family home versus multifamily.
You're going to own one house. I own 4,000 apartments, okay? Yeah. How could you own 4,000 houses? You're going to go do 4,000 different deals? I probably did 18 deals to buy 4,000 apartments. 3 of my deals don't cash flow. 3 out of the 18 don't cash flow right now, but I'm in rehab, okay? I'm rehabbing them. 2 of them don't. Okay, but they will someday. Yeah. That house, no chance. That house will ever, no matter what you do to it, okay? Spit on it, shine it, buff it, okay? It will never write you a monthly check.
That is such a bizarre assertion that a house cannot produce a cash flow, cannot produce an income for you. But I will say, I do like your idea of 18 deals and having 4,000 units. I'd have to see the numbers on that and see what that looks like. But Grant, you're Grant Cardone, and we're talking about everyday average Americans. And I guess the question at the end of the day is, are you really trying to appeal to someone that has a lot of money, a lot of success, and trying to do something? For me, I'm just starting out with the newbies. And even some of the most experienced people, Grant, will say absolutely 4,000 houses versus 4,000 doors. And again, let's just talk about the reasons why. Right now, at the end of the day, with a house, I get appreciation that I don't get on apartments. With a house, I could put a home homeowner in there that will take better care of it than an apartment user that's just transitory often, and they're in and they're out, and you're going to see a lot more turnover with that. When I'm doing a lease option, I can collect down payments on these houses. I can get people taking care of the houses in different ways. With an apartment, you have utilities that you have to pass on to them. With a house, I can have them put it in their name and I can have them take ownership and accountability for what that looks like. Appreciation. This is such a big one. I got my equity that I walk into, which grant I can do on houses, and I get the appreciation component. So you add all that up, and there's a reason why it made me multimillionaire by the age of 26. And I won't say that you can't do that with apartments, because the reality is I'm super inexperienced, and apparently this is your niche. So there's got to be a way to do it well and do it successfully, and it's working well for you. I think at the end of the day, I'm really just taking a stand for the common everyday person like me that started out with nothing, that says, how do I get somewhere? And right now, if I were to step into an apartment unit that had hundreds of units associated with it, we're talking about a multi-million, probably in the tens of millions dollar kind of deal. And you know what? Those deals absolutely can work. There's a reason why Donald Trump rose up multi-billionaire all over again, buying skyscrapers. Do I think that the average American can step in that way? No. And maybe I could have, but I didn't. And what I'm doing is working. It's certainly not broken. So multifamily, single family, I will say I think you can make both of them work. But at the end of the day, you got to get into reality. What is more likely? Where are you going to have your greatest likelihood of success? And right now, if I had to put 10 of you on a multi-million-dollar apartment, or 10 of you on an entry-level single family home, and let's just say that they cash flowed the same and the growth was the same, which one's more realistic? I think for you and I, the more realistic thing might be the easier to step into project, which is single family. And that for me will put it heads or tails over something that I'm going to promote and try to help you with, to make sure that you actually have a good shot of really getting started, as opposed to dragging your feet or coming up with reasons why that project's too big, it scares me, if I lose on it, I might lose everything, as opposed to something that, it's like an elephant. You can take it down one bite at a time. Right now, that's a herd of elephants. And that's a big project to take down. So for me, I'm just asking myself, at the end of the day, assuming everything was equal, which one's more realistic? I'm gonna go with the single family house. So did you like the style of this video? Is there anyone else that you want to pit me against? Because I'm not afraid to go toe to toe and have a conversation about what is best. I may not always be right, but I certainly got strong opinions, and it's going to be based on track record and facts on what I have done. So go ahead and submit some comments below, and let's get juicy.